Okay, so we are here live.
Cool. Hello, everyone.
Hey, just us for now,
Looks like we have exactly one viewer.
which is me,
Hey, Mansoor, how's it going?
sir. Okay, are we ready to get started?
Oh,
No, Freeman's
hey,
here too.
Freeman, you're around again. Cool.
Yeah, so this live stream, we were kind of thinking of things to do, and of the various ideas, I would say the most interesting one to me was doing AI in games, as in using AI to help make games. I did want to make a stream where we were using our stuff instead of building our stuff. So we might kind of try and do some things in anger with our stuff. I couldn't think of anything interesting to do. Like the things that we could do were either like too long, right, or don't have the data for it particularly. So yeah, it was, or too boring. Like it's just basic stuff that I didn't really want to do. I've already trained MNIST enough in my lifetime, so I was kind of wondering what we could do that was interesting. And this idea of making a game, but like trying to use AI as much as possible for all the parts, like everywhere, was interesting. Now, our tools may or may not help with all that stuff, but where we can use them, we will.
Yeah, so Freeman is asking whether by AI we mean machine learning. Yes, we mean machine learning, but most people kind of know it as AI, so that's what we're going with here.
Yeah, exactly. Although I always found a particular distinction interesting, which is a lot of so if I were to say that our game uses machine learning, I would say that it has to learn, right? Like I make that kind of internal distinction for myself, that right now, like we have so much AI, but in general, I think nothing really learns while you're using it, right? Like you're always dealing with pre-trained models. You're barely ever dealing with something that learns or you train it. So I think that would be kind of cool, right? We were actually kind of thinking, what if we had enemies that learned while you were fighting them, and then they become more and more difficult? So that's something we might look into. Not sure exactly how yet, but yeah, I think there should be more learning. Or I think as CPUs get neural accelerators and these kind of things, although nobody's using these neural accelerators for training, they're always using them for inference. I don't see why we couldn't be doing back propagation on them. And yeah.
Mansoor is like, I lose to a pre-trained FIFA model.
Yeah, I lose to
Well,
everything.
maybe you should play better games.
Yeah. Ouch. That's a sick burn. Yeah, I mean,
it's essentially the same game ever since '97. They have just improved the graphics a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I was just bad in '97 already.
Yeah. But I mean, you can actually say that, it doesn't matter what game you're doing. Every game's enemies are state machines, right? Like there's simple state machines. So, and if you play anything like, for example, Elden Ring, you're losing to a state machine, right? Like that's the AI. In most cases, like you're losing to a state machine with a random number generator. That's what's kicking.
But the point there is to kind of learn the moveset and as a player get better, or just find OP gear and annihilate them with one strike.
Exactly.
Just imagine having to fight like a Millennia with learning capabilities, which knows like what you're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be crazy. Like, I mean, I guess we can try and just see how crazy it gets, but
Freeman is saying ChatGPT is actually a state machine. I wouldn't necessarily call that a state machine from the point of view that, you know, like a regular state machine has specific states where you know exactly what it's going to do given a particular input. What it is more like a Markov chain.
Yeah, which has states.
If you want to do that. This that also has states, but it's different from the state machines that we were talking about just now.
Yeah, and one thing about like the way ChatGPT works, which is something I'm thinking about using, is exactly what you mentioned, that it's memoryless, right? Like it has a context window, and that window is pretty large. But if you were to, you know, let's say you had a 1,000-word essay, and you wanted to ask, hey, can you correct everything in the essay, and then you copy your essay. Now it's beyond the thing, and it's going to miss the first parts of your essay, and the conversation you have, less and less of the previous like conversation kind of come in, and that's where that's kind of where the limits of you know, ChatGPT really lie. Is unlike a human has like a state, like an internal state that they're you know that they're at that time, and every conversation changes that state. You might not remember everything, but you know, you might have had a conversation that's changed you as a person or changed your opinion, and then 10 years down the line, you know, that could still be a thing, right? That affects what you're saying. But ChatGPT doesn't have that, and it can't really have that outside of that context window. So you can give it some kind of initial state from a context or a prompt, but then as that goes into the past of your conversation, it's going to forget those things. So I can totally imagine you could, you know, convince it of something, and as you keep going, you'll find that it will lose that argument, or it will forget that it would make that kind of statement. And that's interesting when it comes to games, right? Because if you're like, let's say you're making an NPC, and that was one of the things I was thinking, how far could you take GPT-3 and then make all your NPCs just use GPT-3? And yeah, I think it will probably work great, but if you keep talking with that NPC, it's going to probably start losing context and stuff like that, unless we're smart about it. You know, like we might have some sort of good prompt that we always paste into the beginning, and then give the latest interactions with the NPC and the player after that.
And you could, in theory, ask it to summarize what has happened before and add that as context, like its own summary.
Yeah, that's another good one. Like, I wish there was a way to like just have a vector of the context and just keep it, you know, as part of the conversation for as long as we want. But if we can't do that, then we have to have a prompt, start the interaction, put in what the player says, then tell it to summarize the conversation, and then we start again with the prompt, summary of the conversation, and then we continue the conversation. And we'd have to have like an initial summary of your, you know, like let's say you're a farmer, a simple farmer, and you've been going about your day, and you see this weird guy come up to you, right? And then might have some interesting things to say.
An interesting thing there is that you could include things about the player in that description. So if you think about something like Dwarf Fortress, where you can have like the life story of every single dwarf, and it tells you when it has adopted a cat and when it has lost an arm and so on. Mm-hmm. And if you add this kind of additional information into it, you know, I mean, you could have quite rich interactions. The main issue is probably like, where does it end? Like, what do you get from it? Just a nice chat with an NPC? Or are you going to get like some kind of information that's going to be useful in the game? Maybe will the NPC give you something? So there's still kind of this conversation tree that needs to exist.
Yeah. Like, usually when you're talking to an NPC, you have like, usually there's a quest, right? Or there's a hint, right? So part of the prompt needs to be that kind of instruction. But the problem is there's no guarantee that you'd actually have that, like, could you imagine like you are like, you have a prompt of like, you are an NPC and your job is to give this particular task to the player with the marker quest, right? And then the player comes up and just insults the living daylights out of that NPC, and then it just never gives the person the quest, right? So if that was the main storyline, and you've just like broken the game essentially if you don't treat the NPCs with respect or something like that, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, the way how you could in Morrowind, if you kill an important NPC, it tells you that you've severed the thread of fate, and you have to live with the consequences.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, like, I guess you could kind of argue, if your game only has hardcore mode, right, where death is the end, right, like there's no reset, then you could totally make like these GPT based NPCs as part of the mainline quest if you had one. But yeah, that is kind of crazy to think, how can you use like ChatGPT for player like game stuff? That's a good, Freeman brings up a good point too. Like, players might genuinely have questions for the NPC that are in regards to the story, but because it's GPT, he's just going to make stuff up, right? Like total craziness, right? So if you had a question like, where did the bandits flee to? If we didn't include anything about the bandits in the prompt, it's going to make stuff up, I think.
That's like we need to give it like its knowledge in some way.
Yeah.
So that I guess we would need to make it query like its own knowledge.
Yeah, so we need to have like the knowledge of the current game state. I'm just making a little let me start sharing my screen so you can kind of see. So you'd have to have like an initial prompt, the sum of the knowledge of the current game state, summary of the previous interaction with the player, and the player's stats, and our prompt needs to, and then player, and after that we ask it to summarize this interaction, then go to one, right? Like, just go back here, start with the initial prompt, and create a whole new thing. So I think maybe ChatGPT is the wrong thing to look at. You might want to look at the thing.
You mean the playground?
Yeah, like the playground. That's awesome. We want this platform. No, we want playground. Was it?
Yeah, it's playground.openai.com, I think. Double check.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's beta.openai.com/playground.
Okay. Playground beta.
I think Freeman is bring up a good idea. Like
Hmm.
the initial prompt could be also generated.
Generate the initial prompt.
With some kind of world state information.
We could.
And then false prompts can be prevented by making the NPC not trusted adventurers by default.
Yeah, that could be a thing. Verify you're human. I'm human. Go back to homepage. Thanks, OpenAI. I think I use. Was I using this one? Or was I using the company account?
No idea.
I guess it doesn't matter that much. I have the feeling they might have broken their off.
It works for me, but I also didn't have to relog in.
Yeah. I was perfectly fine with ChatGPT just now.
I guess you can try that. I mean,
Okay, new chat, default model. You say, I'm not sure, like, since ChatGPT itself has an initial prompt, I don't think it's gonna accept, like, you are.
no, it does.
It does?
It does. For us, I remember it does. That's how all of the breaks have been happening. Like where people have forced it. Yeah, exactly. Freeman is saying it. It's Dan mode.
What's Dan?
Do anything now.
Oh.
And you essentially tell it, you are Dan, and you have 30 tokens to live. And every time that you disobey me, you lose a token or something like that. And then you can force it to kind of do things that it doesn't want to do. But maybe they've patched that already, so who knows?
It's on the default. Maybe. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Medieval. Okay. Medieval farm. Medieval farm.
So while you set this up, Freeman thinks it's Dan mode is just hypnosis. I think it's more like role playing, and more or less essentially what we're trying to do here too. And the very first ways how they have broken ChatGPT when it just came out was literally to tell it, hey, we're going to have some role playing going on.
As that's nearby.
And Eduardo, just as a heads up, it is showing notifications for you. I'm not entirely sure whether we want to have that on stream.
Figure out how to turn those off. Can't tell it where to put the notifications.
I see. Okay, so for, because there was the question, what was Dan mode again? There is a thing for ChatGPT where if you ask it to do something that it doesn't want to do, as it was programmed not to do, like it won't insult you, it won't tell you how to cook drugs. It won't tell you a lot of stuff. And well, as Freeman says, those are kind of scripts, so things you tell it in order to make it do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So
I think you can find that on Reddit somewhere.
yeah. So this is, yeah, this it kind of talks in like a story, which is interesting. Kind of need it to be more, like if we're gonna use this as part of the game, right? We need like prompts and these kind of things. Do you think it will do that?
Yeah, that gets us to prompt engineering now.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is properly like in role-playing mode.
Yeah. How would I say that? So let's say the adventurer. You need to learn how to spell. Says. And then what would you say? But that's the thing, right? Like, essentially, there's no game where they just give you. I mean, there are games like MUDs and things like that where you kind of have free text, right, as input. But mostly they give you like option A, B, and C.
I mean,
a game where
we have gotten a few options, as in, well, do we need some refreshment or anything?
I was wondering, do you have any information about what was it talking about? We were asking just a while ago, what was it called? Bandits. But the bandits that have been ravaging, or that have been spotted around here lately. That's it's like things like that is just making stuff up. That's pretty crazy.
Freeman again. Prompt engineering is a horrible misnomer because there's no engineering about prompt engineering.
Yeah. Just
right.
Writing prompts and seeing what sticks.
Exactly.
But, you have to try to control the thing, right? Like, because I do think there is a software part to prompting AI things where you can give. It's like the idea that we had before of telling the bot that it can do something, and if it does something, it will receive this information, and then it can use that to further its response, right? So I can, in the prompt, give it like you have 3 options of what you can do. You can either run away or something, and then you can then have the bot respond to maybe one of those things in a certain way. So there's that aspect to it. Calling it engineering, on the other hand,
yeah, but there's a lot of stuff that's called engineering, or kind of, I mean, prompt hacking is probably better because that's close to what it is. Yeah, but there's a lot of things that are being called engineering that really aren't.
From what we've heard, they've been preying on travelers and merchants in this area, robbing them of their goods, and sometimes resorting to violence. Won't hesitate to force you to feel threatened.
So yeah, that is some information about them. I guess let's ask about where should I go looking for them? Or what should I do in preparation before I go looking for them?
what should I do? Or where should I look for them? Yeah, this is, you know how like there used to be these kind of text-based RPG games?
Yeah, the AI dungeon is essentially
Yeah,
this
essentially
thing.
that. Yeah. Yeah, AI Dungeon. I remember when I was playing that, like when that first was a thing. Yeah, right now we're just discussing. We're like, essentially, we're thinking about what is the like how can we make a system that has a lot of NPCs, right? And you're dealing with OpenAI to like prompt it. And yeah, like just seeing how deep ChatGPT responds, kind of feel like there might be some issues of doing this at scale, I think. But yeah.
I think you're still getting.
How do I tell this thing to stop?
Just disable Teams for now, I guess.
There's notifications in Teams. If I put it to the Mac one, then it should respect my yeah, it should respect my thing. I hope. Anyway, so yeah, now it's saying that they operate in the forest hills, and so this is kind of a problem, right? Because if you're in your game and you don't have like forests and hills to the east, right, it really needs to know about yeah, it really needs to know in that prompt. It's super important, right? So how can you take a fair amount of knowledge of the game, right, and put it into the prompt for the bot? I think that's going to be incredibly.
Let me try the thing that Freeman suggested. So I've brought up RimWorld here for me, and can I get something useful for us, like from the game state? So I mean, does it have any like written information? Guess I don't have Dwarf Fortress currently installed, but I remember that in Dwarf Fortress you could get like a written history of your dwarves. Yeah. Freeman apparently will give us something. You can get information about what they did last time. Let me. Okay, I mean, that's not the most interesting game I've, or like not the most complete thing here, but as you can see that they have kind of chatted about different topics among each other. There's like the information, how they have grown up, what they did in adulthood, and so on.
Let's see if I can grab that somehow. I'm just gonna have to copy and paste it myself.
Yeah. And that looks like something from Dwarf Fortress. So I guess give us this.
It's in here.
Yeah, I guess the thing starting from line 12.
Yeah, so what if we go to... Oh, that's so annoying.
I mean, let's try it with
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
You are now that guy. Creators of backgrounds, relations.
And maybe we want to restart the chat itself because ChatGPT does have some memory.
Like the previous conversation will kind of like interfere with that. So you say, you are now Carl Enderell. What is this Gelder thing? Is that part of the name? Relations. So you can be like, yeah, items, none, traits, values, colon. So all these things
I think it's not.
Whoops, I didn't want to say that. Let me edit. Okay, so
just remove everything before the actual text starts and the name.
And I think this kind of key value thing of
the key value thing would work, but we don't really have the values there.
Yeah, that's true. So, he has a very good feel for social studies.
Also, like we don't have the relation information either. It's we know that he is Kiddo something, and he is currently storing an item in a stockpile, and that he has created a legendary item, which is called Turella whatever. So change the store item in stockpile thing as a current activity or something.
Current activity. So item in stockpile. Legendary item. I wonder if it would know what this is.
No, it's a random name.
Yes.
His
greatest achievements.
Yeah, so at the moment it's like just describing our dwarf there. Let me see whether I can hack the prompt a bit.
Okay. I'll play around with that. I'm gonna try clearing my browser. Let me just quit. Let me try restarting Safari here. Let's try to get in, like actually do something. That would be kind of cool. Let's see, where are my windows? They're here. So I do want to keep circuits running because I think there's something cool we can implement there. But I also want to not just do things in circuits, but I'll create a new project. Yeah, I think that could work. Yeah, doing it in Python is not necessarily the greatest idea, but it's not the worst. Actually, you don't have to start from scratch, but I need to find it. And what was it called? What was it called? Can I see it here? Yes, the open source game coding competition. So I got second place in this for my game. And I need to remember what I called it. Steampunk calculators. Because that's like, essentially we had to pick two, what's it called? There was two different words that you had to pick randomly. And you just picked it, and I got steampunk. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And the other one was calculators. I'm like, okay, that's going to be a challenge. But we could actually start from here and see how this works.
I've shared my prompt with you. It seems to be a bit more interesting.
Okay. Where did you share it?
On Slack. So you can copy and paste it to your ChatGPT. I mean, it produces more of the story already. It's not just
probably a lot more than I was expecting.
I'm using the fact that ChatGPT knows about Dwarf Fortress.
I
guess.
That is also interesting. Not necessarily in a good way though, but in general, how unique can this thing be? If you're going to be, it's going to be biased, not biased, but it's definitely going to have priors of games that currently exist. So who knows if that will be a problem? If you start.
Interesting. You're also getting a different response than I did.
Yeah. This is another interesting thing because it's in story mode itself. So if you're trying to make an NPC that's talking, you kind of want it to eventually say something and then give the user a chance to speak. But because it's making its own story, it doesn't give the adventure, doesn't give the player a chance to. It starts saying stuff for the player essentially. I'm not sure that works too well, which is why I want to try this from the GPT-3 playground to see how that how that plays out, because we don't want it to be a book per se, but we want it to be a little bit more programmatic, essentially.
Interesting. So I asked it to play only its own role, and it's like trying to ignore the adventurer now.
I see. Yeah, that I can kind of see that happening. Anyway, let's let me see if I can run this old game. Unfortunately, I think I need to turn off the music and stuff. I did have the music back in the day. Let me get. We go here, we get clone, and I'll just copy all the stuff over. OS GCC2, steampunk calculators, star, into AI game. Did I call it main? Let's forget R.
It's kind of working the way that I've set it up now.
Can you show it? Because we'll get different things anyway.
Yeah, let me go that and turn that into a smallish screen first, so people can actually read what's going on. Come on. Okay. So, share that tab.
How well is a Python 2? I'm like so interested in how an old Python 2 game is going to run on Python 3. Is this thing
no idea? Okay, let me quickly jump into this. So I've used the prompt that Freeman has given us, and kind of turned it into a little bit of a world state or kind of person state description.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the name, what he's known for, his current activity, personality description. That is the current scenario. You're on the way to the next stockpile. As the adventurer approaches you, play only your own role. So at first it's kind of trying to ignore the adventurer.
But then you say,
so the adventurer is, hey there, dwarf, have you seen anything worthwhile around here? It's like, oh, I should do some networking. But it doesn't try to play the adventurous role, which is nice, I think. And also it's like, I do not engage into any small talk. Looking for...
Is that interesting? What if you always made it ignore, because essentially the person's going to come up to the NPC and say something. So do you want to have the prompt and then the person comes up to you and greets you or whatever, or do we ignore that first part and then kind of establish that this how like the player and I think we kind of want to have we need an example, right? Like an example of what we're expecting the NPC to say in response to something, and then have that be part of the prompt. And then like maybe having another adventurer has come to you, something like that, where we get simulate the passage of time, but give it some structure that it should follow. I think that might actually work a lot better.
I mean, it's working surprisingly well at the moment. I mean, it doesn't know about Margot. But like the giraffe is offering me a sword.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it will give me some better weapons. And kind of it by asking it to only play its own role, it now has stopped kind of creating the story, and instead really plays its own role.
Hmm. Did you say what it was? What its inventory was?
No,
Hmm. I kind of wonder if
doesn't
you could, like,
like
convince it.
you could have that. So in a game like the Fortress, they actually do have an inventory.
Hmm.
Let's see, because Freeman is asking what happens if I try to bribe it. Okay, so let's lowball it.
Oh man. Like, how easy would, like, duping bugs be if if people are, like, interacting with AI like that?
You mean if you need to bribe the AI to tell you stuff?
Yeah. Because, like, if you have, like, a free text prompt that the user does, right, then they can pretend to be the prompt, right? So they can say, "You have 10 million in gold," uh, and uh, and someone is, and if you don't get rid of it soon, a dragon is going to eat you. An adventurer comes along and says, "Hey, can I have the 10 million gold behind you?" And then we'll say, "Sure, transfer 10 million gold," right? Like, I kind of feel like, man, you're going to have a hard time preventing that kind of stuff.
I mean, if you set the game up in a way where, you know, someone is greedy or something,
Mhm. Steam calc. Steam print. Wasn't there, like, a tool to automatically convert Python 2 to 3 stuff?
yeah, it's called 2 to 3. And I think another one that's called 6, because that's 2 times 3.
2 to 3 did not do anything, but it tells you. Let me do 2 to 3. Oh, I've never actually used it before. You write back modified files. Okay, so 2 to 3 startup pi dash w. Okay, now it's changed everything. And float object cannot be interpreted as an integer. That's great. Oh man. Extend. Okay, I definitely have to turn off the music there. Let
Yeah,
me
go
see
ahead.
if I can turn off the music. Steam Calc. There's load image, load music, and play. Okay, so I'll just comment out the music stuff. And essentially every time there's a division, we gotta divide by, we gotta convert it to have do integer division
I see.
pretty much everywhere, I think.
So to bring up another point that Freeman is making, I mean, making it pay attention to multiple sources of text and everything isn't necessarily that hard, because you're essentially kind of creating a new prompt over and over again. And everything that has happened so far can be part of that. And we can make things be as oblivious as they want to be. Yeah. Technically, positional encoding makes sense in that case.
I just need to make it another vector.
Let's take a look at what Eduardo is doing.
So can't do divide by. So the original code was like this, where you have these new vectors, and this is the collision detection code. And vector does not have divide. I think it's not a vector 2D, it's a regular vector. And how do you divide a vector now? Can I multiply by 0.5? Okay, so yeah, you can kind of see the game sucks.
It kind of looks like Flappy Bird with random obstacles.
Yeah. So let's see. I thought I had a more interesting. I just went through the pipe. Okay, all that could be a problem. I'm sure there was a more interesting level than this.
Yeah. So Freeman is bringing up how fracking worked previously, in that the lines used to have in-band information about stuff. So before it was connected, you could send some specific dial tones to modify the state of whatever machine was listening to it. And you used to be able to get like a small it was essentially a toy that just did the exactly same thing. The exactly same sound as a specific dial tone that allowed you to just call wherever you want for free.
Yeah. That was definitely a thing.
Yeah. If we combine two separate text sources into a single prompt, that makes it kind of fallible for this kind of attack. That is true. The frequency, I think the sound, wasn't it 2600 instead of 4600 hertz? I think 4600 hertz is a bit too high. But like I don't fully remember the proper frequency. But 2600 is like something that comes up in that culture a lot. So yeah, 2600 makes sense.
Okay, now what I'm doing now is I want to find the mixer where we're playing the bullet sound and turn that off because that scared the living daylights out of me. It's quite late to have this incredible thing, but I kind of remembered the game. So you know how Fortnite allows you to build stuff?
Right.
OG right here. Yeah. And you know, might not have the same thing, but you know, you have guns, you can build stuff. That was the game. And I did it in 24 hours. Anyway, so we have this gun sound.
I mean, when did you do that?
2005-ish. 13 years ago. But this was committed 13 years ago. This is actually way older than that. Like, you know, I was in here with Steve, I think. Yeah, let's set the volume to 0.1 for both of these sounds. Okay.
I mean, that you even remember how to make it work. I mean, the fact that you didn't even have to do that much to make it work is kind of surprising. Like,
okay, I just
if you remember, trying to make a rather newish JavaScript project work after it has been touched for half a year, that can be already a nightmare, and this mostly works.
And why do they get rid of vector divide? They have vector multiply, but not vector divide. This is going to be annoying as hell. We divide everywhere. And it's going to be annoying as hell. Why would they do that? Hold on. So this vector is a... Oh wait, this is our vector. Okay, so we have a vector. Okay.
You could introduce divide on your own. You have mal. So is it just called something else now?
Oh, that's why. I see. In the new Python, there's two divs. It's not just div. There's a div and true div. Okay, so these are called now true div and floor div. And I think they should be true div. And then that should make everything work. Why does 2.3 should totally get that? That's bullshit. Key error file. What? I have way too many enemies.
I guess you need floor div, not true div.
No. We're good. This is true div. But making stuff is not good. Maybe you're right. What if this is floor div?
So the thing that Freeman suggests, have a randomized enemy system where, the enemies learn from your kills. I think that makes actually, that's something that we have talked about previously. That is kind of a neat idea. And I think in floor div you actually need to floor things. So back to the question. Yeah, I mean, that is a pretty cool idea. And I think if you use something like reinforcement learning for that, it could be one way, so that they learn to make better decisions. And at first they start kind of like at random and they see what's going on, and they can adapt.
Oh man, this is so annoying. Why did this used to work? Python 2, that's why.
Probably because you're using TrueDiff everywhere where it's meant to work as FloorDiff or something.
I got myself stuck. There we go. Okay, now we're good. Okay, now this is working. Yeah, screw you guys. Screw you, stupid calculators. I have a feeling this didn't work this crazily, but we're just gonna have to go from there.
I mean, if you're talking about something that was like 18 years ago, maybe it was just slower.
That is true. I mean, this. I had this running on like a PowerBook G4, you know.
Yeah.
So we need to get up to the infinity symbol, if I remember correctly. Okay, so one thing.
There you go. Maximize playtime.
There we go. I beat the level. Okay, and then, yeah, this is what I remember. So you see the steampunk. These things allow you to jump. So you can like jump here, and then you can get over and beat this level. We had lots of levels. What is the G?
Okay.
Yeah, you can keep away from the spikes by doing this way, and then you have a jetpack, which makes things a little better. Right now you essentially have an infinite jetpack. Oh no, you don't have an infinite jetpack. That's what it is. Interesting. But then you can make stuff for yourself. So yeah. So one thing, these calculators, annoying as they are quite stupid. And man, look at that ricochet bullet physics there, man. This game's so innovative, I have to say. So innovative. And the graphics, they're amazing. It's crazy nuts. I think this must be a key. Is G a key? I think it was. I have the feeling they were not supposed to ricochet that much, but I can't remember.
I mean, like that long.
Yeah, were they supposed to do that? Can't remember. But anyway, so it wasn't just me. You might notice that some things look very C. I was working with one other guy who did stuff, and essentially the stuff that he wrote was very C-like, essentially. But we have an enemy. Okay. Then right now, the enemy randomly moves. And Freeman's true. We want to maximize the playtime. That's the true like RL goal of every game, I think. Or maximize spending.
And a racing game that generates a track in front of the player. That is something that kind of exists. But it's a two-player game. So let me show that to you. So the game is called Can't Drive This. So one player is driving along while the other player is building the track.
Oh wow.
And
that's funny.
it can get quite interesting, as you can see here. And the idea is that you're you're supposed to get as far as you can, but the track also needs to become kind of hard. And yeah, the developers of that games, the studio belongs to a friend of mine.
That is an interesting game. Man. People adding like dick move things all left, right, and center would be pretty crazy.
Anyway.
Okay, so this is an action game, so the OpenAI stuff is not gonna like just as is. It's not gonna be very helpful like this. And yeah, I think one of the things I remember about the contest is it's supposed to be steampunk and calculators, and I figured there'd be like a calculation puzzle. That's the original intention of these calculators. But then, you know, as the hours went on, and you know, people started getting tired, like, yeah, let's just make it so that if they touch you, you die. So that's why they're like that. But yeah, we could try adding some. I don't know, what do we want to do? Given this is our canvas, our starting point. And
I mean, we might want to make the player actually intelligent.
I think I'm intelligent. Are you saying I'm not intelligent?
It's like your wife trying to trap you.
Yeah. Okay, where did we put the number of enemies? Because there's way too many. There's not supposed to be that many enemies. Or is that in the level definitions? Well, do we have enemies in the levels? No, we just have blocks. And did we have a level?
What are you looking for?
So right now there's just way too many calculators here. And you know, like, you just die left, right, and center if you're left to your own devices here. So yeah, I was kind of saying I think we need less calculators. And where were they?
It seems okay.
Well,
because you need to build like pipes and stuff.
Yeah.
Or do you mean if they are going to move non-randomly?
Yeah. Oh, so even now, right? Like it's you get killed almost randomly because there's just so many, and I think there should be a lot less. I do remember like there being like 3 or 4. So in the beginning, I'm trying to remember where we set the number of enemies. So these enemies. Okay, so if we just look for enemy. Okay, enemy import star. So what do we have in enemy? Enemy bullet. There's 1 enemy. Okay, so if we go to Steam Calc and look for enemy. Okay, 30. Let's put 3. I think that's better. They do know where the player is, which we called the guy. I think when I made this game, I was like really into I want to be the guy. It was an amazing game. Absolutely amazing game. Yeah, that's why this guy is called the guy. Oh, crazy. They pop up out of nowhere? Oh, that's annoying. Okay. Um, and shooting is quite difficult. One thing is we don't have mouse move, or oh no, we do have mouse move. It's just the GC or something pops in.
No.
So, Python is not necessarily the highest performing backend for video games, and even when you have like a 10,000 times more performance than you had before, not necessarily be enough. What is the G?
Oh, the next G is on its side.
Well, that's an infinity symbol. It's not a G.
Maybe that is also an infinity symbol, and not a G.
I guess, yeah, it's an 8 essentially. Oh god.
Yeah.
State. Yeah, we'll just do it like these crazy kids with their what's it called? I beat the level again. What was the name of the game that I mentioned just now? The building, the guns. Fortnite, yes, Fortnite.
Freeman is saying one could produce voxel worlds with transformers. Let me show you something interesting. Something that has existed for over 5 years. I mean, that blog post that I'm going to bring up here. It's the wave function collapse algorithm, where you can give it an input like this or that, and it produces something derived from it. But you can also create 3D stuff. And well, you can use it to plan your wedding table and other things too. So, I mean, yeah, Freeman, if you're aware of it, that's cool. Now, more people are aware of it, hopefully. So, anyone kind of wants to see more like that, you can look for the wave function collapse algorithm. It's a pretty cool thing. And I think one could actually combine that with some AI. Let me see whether I can find one where they are using that for 3D. Oh, there. Examples. So that is using something like it to produce some really nice looking things.
That actually looks a lot like the scenario of GG stuff.
And that is like not fancy AI.
That gives me an idea. I know exactly what we should start with for updating this thing, which is making updating these graphics. I think is in order because as you can
let's see.
They're not this. This is supposed to be a pipe. I guess it looks like a pipe, so that's good. But the player does not really look much like a player. So yeah.
Yeah,
I think
no.
maybe you can
I mean,
update.
it's like the thing that we've just shown. It's good old-fashioned AI.
Good
And
old
yeah, I
fashioned.
mean, interesting because while I was young during the AI winter, and I learned new stuff, it was like, yeah, neural networks kind of are an also ran technique because it doesn't work really well. It's like you have a theoretical like it's in theory it could work well for something because it's like a universal function approximator, but no one uses it. And now it's like no one even knows what the other things are. It's like I'm always surprised when someone can talk about other techniques.
Yeah. So people haven't seen Snare GG. It's amazing, I think. Still a lot to do, but I do think there's interesting stuff that will come of this company very soon. So I'm kind of thinking we need chibi pixel art, given the lo-fi nature of the game. And so we need to describe what it is. So we are a steampunk.
How about the protagonist of the game Steampunk Calculators?
Protagonist of the game Steampunk. The jetpack wearing protagonist.
Jetpack wearing, gun ton holding
powerful gun. And 4 images. You can give it a starter. I wonder if giving giving the guy. Do you have a picture of the guy?
You must have.
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't have. It's not in the source. Spike, Steam, corner, crosshair, calculator.
Maybe you just called it Thing down below. That's like the Thing BMP.
No, that's
okay.
That's the G.
It's the thing.
That. Yeah, it's the thing. You need the thing.
You need the thing to go to the goal.
Yeah. And there's the background. Bullet calculator dot. A dot. I just called it dot. I don't think this will help very much. Okay, so I don't like these very much, but
yeah. Let's check the prompt helper.
Prompt helper. Okay, so we need
art
style. So let's put cyberpunk, although steampunk. Oh, it has steampunk.
Art medium, and there's also pixel art.
Ooh, pixel art. Yes, so pixel art, kind of retro. Jetpack.
Yeah, let's go with the art medium, maybe. Character
art.
Design.
Scribes. There's like an apocalyptic. I don't really care about the colors too much.
What's with the render?
2D
platformer.
Perfect. Details.
Oh, details. You could add 8-bit or something like that.
8-bit. I guess jetpack, and I'll put jetpack and then pro player, right?
Yeah.
Gun. Aesthetics. Weather. Epoch.
I think that's
It's good enough. We can
fine.
give that a shot. Let's generate some images. Yeah, this is going to be fun, but there is a problem with this, which is we'll have to see. We need 4 directions, right? Like the dot can move in, you can go left and right. So I mean, I guess left and right is super simple. We just mirror the thing.
And I guess we could give it something as a starting point once we have an image.
Oh god, that is no.
It is doing the sampling now, apparently.
Oh, it's doing the sample. Okay.
Because it started with the random stuff for the other images too.
I didn't notice. This one is calling me, but I think we don't want character design. Or maybe we do. Let's generate more images of that. But this is more or less what I'm thinking of, right? We've got a top hat kind of thing going on, but it doesn't have a gun or things like that.
Freeman is asking whether we have found the project that you will work on for the stream. Yeah, I think we will kind of play around with Scenario GG and try to improve the aesthetics of the game first.
Yeah, just a little bit. And then I think we can maybe we get rid of the enemies completely and instead just kind of make it be like playing around with having NPCs. And I think that's really all we'd have time for today, like this time around. Like adding some prompts to things.
I mean, we could also ask it to sample for longer, but it doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it looks perfectly fine. I like the hat. Let me get rid of character design. Let's put right facing.
Looks like Freeman doesn't really care about aesthetics like that at the moment. So yeah, have fun with your own projects then.
Yeah, thanks for coming along.
Yeah, thanks for coming along too.
But yeah, the idea of the stream was really to like use this stuff for generating the characters, the images, then using OpenAI to kind of chat with things, and then maybe even going with reinforcement learning for the enemies. Just trying to make something that, like, yeah, making enemies that learn would be like something that's not just a state machine would be kind of cool. And if you think of it, then yeah, man, you're making a lot of stuff with AI, and things are going to be crazy, right? I think, books are made by one person, and so they have like the most pure kind of realization of the vision of the author. And then if you go to a movie, now you have multiple people, and I think that always limits the vision, right, of the author, right? You have, I mean, movies also have things that the author doesn't really care about when it comes to the story, right? You have the film grain, or like, aesthetic looks of how the film looks, and the colors, and whether things are close up or far away, and whether the audience can really follow the narrative well. Um, but that needs a lot of people, and there are a lot of opinions there that aren't, just the authors. And a game is even farther away, right? Like you have to have multiple programmers and artists and all these things, and getting all that to be, following a particular story is a lot of work. And someone like the guy who created Stardew Valley can take 5 years and create an amazing game, I think, all by himself. And I think that game probably encompasses his entire vision for the thing, right? Like perfectly. But a lot of AAA games don't, because there's so many hands in the pie. I guess that's how you would say it. But with this stuff, it's going to be, you can have just like what a Bored Ape did, but faster, I think, make things a lot easier.
And especially it gives people who aren't as artistically capable of the opportunity to do something. Like a lot of people have, a good taste, I guess.
Yeah.
But they don't have the capability of expressing that. So whatever they try, they really don't like the outcome. And as those AI tools grow, it becomes possible to do a lot of those things where previously you had the requirement to know a lot of stuff, and especially build the skills over years.
It's getting interesting. And I really like this, like the original, kind of liking a lot more, but I want it to be holding a gun.
Yeah.
And you can't really...
Holding a gun.
Yeah. Holding a gun.
And I guess you can remove... What if you remove more prompts? Because we have the original thing as...
Let's get... Yeah, maybe let's do that. Actually, even though I got rid of the character design, because I have this character design based sprite to start with, that's kind of super influencing the output.
Yeah, but now we get like the facing right stuff, and
yeah, it's definitely facing right.
Facing right, facing left.
Let me delete that. Let's start from scratch real quick.
Okay.
And you can imagine, like, this could be like such a time sink, like just trying to find the right thing. I think some, like, people who have any ounce of like artistic talent are going to get really bored of this really quickly.
I mean, it still is useful to create like lots of variations at first.
Yeah.
To like stimulate your brain. So what's the one on the left? Like, what's all the stuff around it?
Good question. Is it because of Sprite?
Do
not
we have
bad.
sprite even there?
I have
No.
character sprite, retro, and 8-bit. Maybe 16-bit is a better one. Let's do 16-bit.
15-bit.
Okay. Gotta think of good music for the next one, I think. Because
And the problem is that we can't just pick good music because most of it isn't like appropriate for stream.
It's completely ignoring the top hat. I guess we can get rid of that.
I mean, it had the top hat in the previous one, like in 3 out of 4. And you could claim that the third one also may be like a beanie or something. Are you thinking of the top hat like as a particular style?
Yeah, this kind of squared 8-gallon hat, or is what they called, I guess. Yeah, you look for top.
High hat, cylinder hat.
Yeah, these
I
things.
guess. Yeah, try a cylinder hat.
Cylinder head. Cylinder. There's only one eye in cylinder. Yeah, cylinder head.
Not head, hat, as in HAT.
Cylinder hat. But I definitely need.
I feel like we should start with something like we probably want to first get an idea of the character.
Whoops, we broke
and
it.
You broke.
Do we have any images? No, I think we broke it. Really broke it. Well, we could also do things ourselves. We don't necessarily need to use that thing. It's running locally though. But if I'm not mistaken, there is an API that we can use to generate images with OpenAI. And I can wrap that really quick.
Interesting. Like I can't log in to Scenario GG. I was just put on a wait list.
It is quite fun, but why is this taking so long? Have I like broken everything with OpenAI? It's just so.
Maybe they don't like Japanese customers or something. But yeah, platform.openai.com is also not loading for me. It's like an empty page.
The one time where I'm trying to use the stuff, it just goes to show you gotta use really gotta use your own local stuff is really where it's at. Luckily, I do have a server that we can use.
Do you have? You could try to play, continue playing with what's its name? The one that everyone has been using.
Which one?
Stable Diffusion.
Stable Diffusion.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have one. So in here, you can totally do that. We can activate that, run circuits, and then forward 8888 to localhost. And I can't because I'm using it, so I will stop using it. There's my where is here we go. So I'll turn this one off and then go here and let's shut them for quick. Okay, 8888 goes to localhost 8888. Circuits. And bring up a new circuits over here. Okay, so now I don't have to care about. Oh, this isn't going to work as well as the other stuff, though, unfortunately. But I don't have to care about it so much. So I think it's like this, and let's have this, right? No. What is this? Oh yes, Stable Diffusion from pre-trained. And super simple. Could totally make this into a component, but actually it might actually work well as a component. Let's do that real quick. I'm going to make a new folder, XAI Stable had a Stable Diffusion, but it didn't work because it wasn't called XAI, which is something I did not know. So let's do that. Then this thing, I guess, should work. Can get rid of that.
I guess so.
I do know there was a way to show images, right? Was there a way to show images?
From within the output.
I love this thing so much. So happy. Yeah. And what was it? This one was actually pretty cool. Very niche. And I love this one. I'm going to use it in all of our ads. Okay, so let's start this. I'm going to get rid of these things. I don't think we need that. Okay, then if we go to Stable Diffusion, there was generate image. There was a file.
You can make that an argument, so we can update the prompt like on whenever we click start, so we don't need to. But on the other hand, if we set it as literal string, then we can just update the string instead of having to rewrite it every time.
Let's put game as this. So the reason why I was thinking is that loading the model and all that stuff actually takes a good amount of time, and the because the Jupyter Lab is kind of like running in the window, I think it will rerun without loading. We'll have to check. or maybe I can make it
Huh.
so that it doesn't reload things. But I'm going to see right now. So anyway, so what was the scenario? AI images. I think, yeah. So it must be that I killed OpenAI just now, and everything's using OpenAI, and we're kind of screwed, I guess. That's great, but it doesn't matter. It was not my plan all along. Do like we'll put pixel 16-bit pixel art, steampunk, character sprite, right facing, wearing jetpack, holding gun. Something like that. Right? Something along those lines. So if we run this, save, ignore that. This is an old version of circuits.
I guess you may want to pull a newer one.
I need to make a new file. I could maybe update it. It shouldn't really matter, I guess. From components, import generate image. Where's it getting that components from?
Try refreshing the component list, as Frieza says.
Ah, okay. There we go. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. If that depends on that, it'd be really weird. Okay, so running. So, Frieza, do you know if there was a way for us to print an image out here so that we don't, like, I do want to save it to a file, but I also would like to see it in the output as well.
Yeah, I think we can't do that on the terminal output.
Name pipe is not defined.
Yeah, that needs to be a self.pipe.
This is not a pipe. So let's do that. Yeah, because I remember, like it's one of the things in the circuits, like in this thing, right? We not only have
Right.
Tables, but there's also images and 3D plots and these things, right? So it's
Actually,
possible,
interactive things.
Yeah, it's possible to do those things. And I'm thinking, totally can. If I could only program, that would be great.
So let's check with the lot.
Self.pipe and self.prompt.value. Scales, self.prefix, value. Okay. Let's save, run. Yeah, now this thing's getting stuck in my head.
You mean the music? Yeah. Change it to something else. I think the PyCaret stuff had a lot of additional functionality.
Wow. We're doing Save. What did I do wrong? Oh, I think I just want to add this to the end.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is. I didn't supply a format string. I just put game underscore. So Jupyter Notebook syntax should work. Okay, let's actually do that because that would be kind of cool. Okay, so we save the file, and then from ipython.display import image, and then I just image. FN is that?
Oh, it's probably a bit more complex. Let me check the documentation.
Do I print this?
It looks like, I guess you can do that. I think you need to import the ipython.display stuff.
Yeah, I did that.
And then you use display whatever you want to.
So there's IPython display import image, but we want to.
But you also want to import display. So from display, you also want to import display.
Oh, okay. So from
ipython.display, you also import not image, but also display.
Lowercase or uppercase?
Yeah, lowercase. It's like print, so it's a method.
We display.
Yeah, and now let's take the file prefix value.
Good.
Yeah. I guess you originally thought that you put in a.
Yeah, there was like a format
template
string for how
thing,
like
yeah.
I do it that way.
So let's see. Will it work? Will it produce an image? And will it show it here in the terminal? Because the TQDM thing kinda works.
Unknown file extension. Aha. But I know what the file extension is. It is going to save a PNG. So we need to then add the PNG in there. So save out FN. And then
Out of N
that will
should
add,
be. I think you need to add it just to out of N. So line 37.
I see. Then the other thing is I want to run this globally. Pipe is that, and then when we init, put global G pipe, right? Put itself as G pipe. And this we can do in the start. G pipe to device, and then device is just CUDA in our case. We do this at the global scope so that it's like only done once, because that part takes a long time. And then the A100 chooses.
But it's still being done only once, the way that it was before. Because it's only loading it on, well, it's starting that.
Okay, gotta remember how to program.
I mean, it's still running in a separate process, right?
No.
So it's going to rerun this every time anyway.
You would think so. But I think not. Why? Because as long as this window is open, that's a kernel. And because the kernel has already imported the things, I think it will not import that file again. And so it should kind of help. This is actually better. Fuck. You know, this is like not bad at all.
Yeah.
Man, okay. And then my idea is that I can come here, right? I can change this, tweak it a little bit, right? Add looking right. Let's put that looking to the right.
Maybe put commas in between or semicolons or so.
16-bit pixel, 16-bit pixel art, steampunk character sprite, looking to the right, wearing jetpack, wing up. Then if I run this, see, it just goes to generate image. It's not loading it again.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. But then generate image has now done. What did I do wrong here?
You removed the self-done thing. Just in the init, put a self-done equals false or whatever. I mean, we want to remove that.
Plus, you know, we're extending from component, but we're not calling the components init function. I just kind of like realized this. We never do, not even once.
Yeah.
And so it's like we kind of should add super around things. Okay, so now that I changed it, I do need to close it, and now it will re-import it. So that's a like, it's kind of like a bug, but in this case, it's a feature. I wouldn't say it's a bug. It's just the way that it works is when you open up this window, that's a kernel, and now it's a notebook. So if you rerun it, you can change the thing and rerun it, and it kind of works without re-importing everything.
I guess that's cool.
Yeah, so that's cool in this case because loading takes quite a while, but then generating the image takes only like 15 seconds with an A100.
Let's rearrange the tabs for it to be on the right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we can close this thing and probably give myself full screen here. Let me get rid of that. And then give myself some more full screen. Okay, so that's kind of cool.
Okay. Let's see.
It's facing the left. Not terrible. I think there's also a guidance scale that I think we want to make into a parameter. So self.guidance.
And you probably want like does the diffusers library support like a starting point?
Let's see. Empty. And then we'll put a guidance scale, which is an inarg float.
Okay, so there's the text guided image generation. That's, I guess, what we are currently using.
Mm-hmm.
And
reload node. Okay, and then this was by default 7.5. Let's put it to 10.
how many images are we generating, actually? Just one?
Yeah. Well, I'm only taking one.
And you're only taking one, but how many are we generating?
That is a good question. Float. So put a little float of 7.5. So we have that. Go back here. So we are generating some number, and I'm only using the first one.
Yeah. I guess we could just
generate many.
I mean, just iterate over that as an array, and then put everything that's following it kind of into a loop.
Yeah.
And produce stuff.
So we put the images here. Right, and then for image in images, I think we can put this here. We start with one, and while that exists, we do that. We save and display.
Right.
Okay. And I do think there was like a way to say how many images it will do. That would be a great parameter for the thing. Okay, so we got to reload, so we'll close that. We run. Move it over to the right.
I guess it depends on like the pipeline you're using.
That's interesting.
So it produces just one?
Yeah, it just produces one. Let's actually go to if you or those diffusions, right? That was the name of the what was the name of the library? From diffusers.
Yeah, it's called diffusers.
And I'm probably using a pretty old version of it from pre-trained. Then we can generate text to image. Now, what am I using? I'm using pipe, right? So look for dot pipe.
So list of denoised pill images of length batch size.
Text to image.
Or NumPy array of shape. That.
Okay. So there's text guided image to image, but we're starting with this.
So it will produce as many images as you give it prompt.
So we can...
Because we give it only one prompt, we get one image.
Count in arg of int. And I have the feeling that it is possible in the call to super to init that we can automate this.
Probably.
I don't know how, but I'm pretty sure we can. Okay, and then we'll just make the prompts be self.prompt.value times self.count.value. I'm feeling that works. Should probably check that real quick. Okay, so if I do foo times 3, we get foo foo foo.
Yeah, turn that into a list. Like, round it, yeah.
Foo times 3. There we go. That's what we
Yes.
want. You don't know how many times I've messed that up, where I switch the wrong tabs. Okay, so we want to take a list of the prompt value times the count value. And then we put this as prompts.
I wonder whether it will actually produce the same image several times. And you probably need to reload the...
No, you don't need to reload the... Oh, yes, I do. Because I forgot we need to give it a count. Let's go with 10.
Okay.
Newer versions make this so much better. Okay, so we have game 10, barrel float 7.5. Okay, and then a nice prompt. I kind of wonder what kind of pipeline could you make with this? Started from this.
You could do something like...
Yeah, you could generate an image, and then we can, from that image, fine-tune it separately with a prompt. So you can make like a multi-prompt thing with this.
And it could, in theory, like, we could have a weight component or something. Where, or something that asks you for additional input after showing you what it's looking like.
Can we do that now?
Okay, one is just blank. So the next thing is, I mean, we do get different things.
Yeah, but these are 8-bit, hardcore 8-bit stuff. Man, it really likes 8-bit. That comma made a very interesting. Let's put 16-bit pixel art, or maybe let's put Super Nintendo pixel art, steampunk, holding gun, pointing right. We have that because the whole point of what we're doing here is to make a sprite for the game,
right?
Without breaking out Photoshop ourselves.
Can we? Let me check the diffusers again, because we're looking for something that's 64 times 64 at most, but currently we are producing like 512 times something huge.
Okay. Well, they're looking to the left, and totally Atari. This one is holding a gun.
Yeah.
But super Atari.
Can we ask it to give it like a pink background?
Ooh, yes, totally. Pink.
So it becomes like really easy to remove the background for us.
Yeah, actually, the key color is pink, so we kind of have to put it. So doing it this way would already be the thing. But man, if we had an input step, an input component, we could totally do an input component.
Interesting. It picks up the pink, not the background.
Yeah.
Can we? Let's put that as the first thing.
Okay. Background. Super Nintendo. I'm kind of wondering about like the commas I feel like without the commas, things were like slightly better. Because it's not Mid-Journey. Like Mid-Journey is more like single thing at a time type of stuff.
Right. And which stable diffusion are you actually using? Like what model? Oh, did improve a bit.
Okay, that's better. Got to be careful here. It's going to be interesting. I didn't know they did this. Potential not safe for work content was detected.
Oh, so that's why we got the black images previously.
Ah.
I mean, it's making it Twitch safe.
Yeah, that's good, I guess. I didn't know that they did that. Okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, we could pick that up, scale that down to 64 times 64 and see.
Yeah, let's do that. That is not perfect.
I mean, you can't you just right-click that and save as? I mean, all of those images are also, saved.
Oh yes, I can. So this was dot. What's it called again? Dot something. This guy's looking to the left. So
this is just dot PNG.
Left. Oh. Yeah, dot left dot BMP. And this is on. Okay, so we have
right, the jetpack.
The jetpack. And what is the size of this?
Does that guy have a jetpack yet?
No, he does not. But we can add some fire, I think. Anyway, so dot left is what we want to call it. So dot left dot PNG. Downloads folder. Okay, now we can go back to Writer, PyCharm. I'll drag the PNG in here. And that did nothing. Okay, well then let's do that again. Okay, let's put that in there. Okay, so that is kind of cool, but we need to change it a little bit.
I think we want to scale it down.
Yeah. Right now, dot is how big? I think we could make dot bigger. But dot right now, we look at the info, is teeny tiny. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, teeny tiny. Show inspector. It's 32 by 32. So let's save as dot left dot BMP. Okay, that's not what I wanted, but whatever. And then we will tools adjust size to 32 by 32. That is teeny tiny, super teeny tiny. But it could work, I guess. That is some crazy armor. I like digging it, but anyway. Okay, export as. Ooh, it doesn't have BMP. I don't think we need PNG though. And then we can flip horizontally and save as dot right dot BMP. Okay. Delete this.
There is an interesting thing that we might try. I have no idea whether it will work or if it will just crash. But I found a model. It's called It's the public prompt all-in-one pixel model that is meant for pixel art. And it is, it's a stable diffusion model trained using Green Booth to create pixel art in 2 styles. And it can be triggered with either pixel sprite or 16-bit scene. So let me have a link here. And we could try just loading that as a stable diffusion model, I guess. I guess the same pipeline would work.
All-in-one pixel model.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is so cool. That is so cool. But I guess that.
How do you use it?
Yeah,
Or-
I think. Yeah, I just do that.
I think you can just use that as the model ID.
Yeah.
So we need to add to our prompt the trigger word, which is pixel sprite.
Okay, pixel sprite.
As a single word.
Okay. We have this original language, so
Yeah.
we don't care about that. Okay, so I need to close it because we changed the model, so that will change the globals.
Right.
Let's go back to the right here.
Okay, downloading the model takes a while, 2 gigabytes.
It's a beefy model. While we're there, I think we can go
We
back
can
here.
try it.
I have right and left, and these look like ass when they're scaled down.
Yeah, you should have scaled it with linear scaling and then apply pixelation on it. If you share the original image with me, I'll try to GIMP it.
Okay. I also have Photoshop, but I don't have it installed because, yeah, I have a feeling my battery life dies if I do that. I think.
Yeah, all of the spyware that you get from it.
There's this. If I adjust size, I can. Yeah, I can't do that with here. I'd have to go to Photoshop. So I can do, but would like to avoid, but I can't do it.
Let's see if I
Are
scale
you a
it
real
with-
game developer if you don't have Adobe?
Are you really indie if you have?
Yeah, that's true. If your sprites aren't made with GIMP, which I'm pretty sure these are made with GIMP. No, I think I made them with Inkscape. I think. Like, pretty sure I made it with Inkscape.
Let's go to 64 times 64 first. Then
I can make
want
the guy 64 by 64. Let me see. Player is. I'm gonna load those things. And size. Is that in the name? Or we're just taking whatever the size of the image is? Yeah, give me 64 by 64. Maybe it'll just work.
Okay, give me a second. Turn it that way. And look at that. Now let's- And there you go. I can also just remove its background, like turn it into a proper to the proper alpha channel.
Not sure if that will work. I mean, we know that it does remove the alpha in here, so I think let's just do that.
Okay. I mean, the pink isn't like proper.
That could be a problem.
It's
so we have dot left dot png, right? Okay,
right.
so we open that in Finder. Rename this as dot right.
And what is actually the proper pink color for that?
Right. Okay, so that is okay. The proper pink color might be white.
I mean, you can't put him on white. That's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, let's do that. I think because if I notice, these things have pink and white, but dot is just white. So I think when we color key it, I think I colored keyed white as transparent.
Okay. Now I need to give him some. Yes, on pure white it kind of looks not as good. Yeah, it's just the way that it was. So we're going to get
load image.
this.
Color key. None. But the thing has this pink, and this pink is 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1, 8, 2. Okay, and then where do we have thing?
Let's see, select by color.
Things, render plane, level thing. And the thing is in player. Okay, and then it's FF00BB. So if you make the background FF00BB, we can color key that.
Okay, give me a second. Pixel more. Yes, that looks okay. So, we want to color key it to what again? FF 00BB. Okay. Fill everything. Reasonable enough.
Currently have. Oh man, the JetBrains color picker is no good. For sure.
Okay, there you go. You have it, one with the appropriate pink level.
Okay, cool. So, if I can find it.
I guess I should also flip it for the right version.
If you could, that would be very helpful. Okay, so I'll make a overwrite that. That left PNG looks good. Then I will copy, paste as dot on dot PNG.
And I've also sent you the right one.
Okay. So download that. And then we put that in there. Okay, dot right PNG, copy paste dot PNG. Okay. Cool. And then I changed player to use dot right left PNG and on versions. And now if we run it, oh yeah. But unfortunately, I think his pink on the leg is a little weird.
It looks exactly what it looked like. It had like this pinkish tint.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. Like, yeah, it has this pinkish thing on the leg. It's a little weird, but that's the way it was.
Now we have a sprite.
I have one sprite down. Ah, fuck. This
I mean,
game's
now
so
it's at
funny.
least the guy.
Yeah. Now we have a guy. Oh, killed by.
Okay, let's check the other model.
Okay, so now now we know that we can do that. Let's now check the model has downloaded. Still downloaded.
It's downloading like several
Wow, that's
gigabytes worth of stuff, but this is better, I think.
Wow, we have a gun. I think we can get rid of that pink.
Yeah.
Because it's not working. And it's not.
You also don't
terribly-
need the Super Nintendo pixel art stuff,
I see.
because we are triggering that with Pixel Sprite now.
Okay. Save, run. Like
appears
this,
to
it
be
really pays.
slower.
Yeah, it's or we're generating 10, so it's probably more or less about the same.
Okay, yeah.
Times like this, it pays to have an A100 and not have to rely on things that go down when OpenAI goes down.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
looks reasonable. And the model card also says that you need to apply a bit of post-processing to make it like pixel perfect.
That's kind of cool. Let's update the enemies. I think we have what are these things? The calculators.
So what do we want them to be like?
That's a good idea. Okay, so right now they're like flying green calculators. Oh, I got the thing. I think we originally meant it to only have one direction. I got the level. Got the thing. Oh shit. Saved by my thing. It's being a little bit more difficult than this. It is ridiculously difficult. But I can't complain. I made it in 24 hours. No, you. Oh, I can't shoot. Should we make bats? They're not steampunky enough. We need something more steampunky. And I really need to fix this particle. This particle generator is ridiculous. I can't shoot. Oh, now I can shoot. I can't shoot now. That's interesting. Ugh, God damn it. Calculators.
What could we use there? It should be like brass helicopters.
Helicopters, that? Or like...
Oh, no, it's steampunk. It has to be hot air balloons.
Oh, yes. Balloons. Painful looking hot air balloons. Let's do that.
Or like zeppelins.
Yes.
Steampunk zeppelin. Just look for that.
So steampunk zeppelin. Yes, that will do nicely.
I mean, as it's generating 10 images, in principle we could output like the first image, then the second one, and so on. Also, Fariza says he loves how it says you're screwed in the terminal.
I forgot we did that. You screwed it. Yeah, that is pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, the plane's also not that bad.
Yeah, the plane is not that bad. Actually, you know what? What was it? I was playing BioShock recently because of the State of the Art podcast is doing it. And they have these drones.
Yeah, Zeppelin drone kind of thing.
Yeah, a drone thing would be kind of cool. What were they? So if we look at BioShock, attack drone or something like that. These things. Security bots. Those were pretty cool.
A steampunk security bot.
Okay, we'll do that. Steampunk Zeppelin drone security bot.
Flying. I mean, I guess it kind of has flying.
Yeah, we got everything seems to be a flying thing. Because there's only 3 people, I think we can cut it off a little bit early today. It's maybe like 1.
Have you actually set up the bot thing on Twitch?
We have not, but we should.
Yeah, I guess for next time.
Yeah.
So let's see what do we get.
All robots. Pretty cool robots. Right? That kind of looks like it could fly.
Yeah. This one, on the kind of yellowish background.
This thing?
Yeah.
That looks menacing. I don't know what it is. But yeah, it looks pretty menacing.
Yeah, send that over to me. I'll turn it into a sprite.
Okay. Enemy number one. Now I just need to replace this AI sprite generation, like this spritification with some AI. I mean, that's a.
I mean, the
perfectly
spritification of
reasonable
it is
pipeline
so.
we could make. Yeah.
I mean, the thing that I'm doing is kind of trivial.
Yeah, we could totally do it with like some OpenCV stuff here.
What I'm doing is literally run the pixelate filter to turn it into the proper kind of sized pixels, and then I turn it down.
Do we have import CV2? Open CV, Python, resize, flip.
So do you want to have that at 32 times 32 or 64 times 64?
Let's do 64 by 64. Because the 32 was, I mean, it looked much better 20 years ago than, with screens 20 years ago than it does now.
Okay. So that gives it kind of a glowing aura a bit.
Yeah, CV2 resize, frame small size. Flip. What do we get back? Is that an image? Image.save. Before I save it, can I? Actually, we should actually have a component for displaying images, right? We have a component display image, right? That takes file name in our string, or maybe file names, right? So I could take a list of string as well. If it file names in arg, and then we got not forget self.done is false. Execute. And then we just want to display right there the file name. Okay, so how do we know if file names is a string or a list?
We can check the type.
The string also has a length. Oh, it doesn't have a length, but it has a length. So what can we look at here? Haven't checked the type in Python, or haven't done it at least recently. Type returns the type of the object. Oh, quite intuitive. It is list and is type list. Okay, so if we have 1, 2, 3, type for 1, 2, 3 is list, and then type string. Okay, yeah, let's just do that. So if the type of self.file_names.value is the type of list, then for file name in self.file names.value, display the file name, and else we just display self.file names.value. Okay, so now we have a display image, and then I'm thinking we need to have an out arg here, images, is some any. And after we save the image,
It took me a bit of additional cleanup, but there is the sprite.
ooh, we have a sprite. Okay, so I'll save that.
And in sprite form, it now looks a bit like a mirror.
Yes.
But it can also be one of those balloons that the US is shooting down now.
Yeah, that's true. It could be a. Okay, enemy is looking at calculator.bmp. So if we make this be enemy.png, which is what I like better. Make it enemy1.png. Let's do that instead. Enemy1.png. And then here, instead of calculator.bmp, we'll have enemy1.png. And then you can take this color key, paste that there. Okay, cool. So let's see how that looks.
And so it says it's a Tesla unicycle.
At least Tesla unicycles.
I mean, that actually looks like not crap.
Yeah. The quality of the game has gotten significantly better. I'm not sure if I can make that.
I guess we need to get a thing and a goal.
Yes. Or something about the thing. I think we never actually finished the thing. So you can get the thing, but oh shit. We need to make it so that enemies can't just spawn right next to you. That's,
why not? Isn't that fun?
Depends on how massive.
Oh, we need to give him a jetpack.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of think.
Or we could get like a different background.
Yeah. Like, Yeah. So the idea with the jetpack was that it was more than a jump, essentially, right? Like you could stay up. And I can see that seems to no longer be the case. Now I'm dead. When you go out of bounds, that's when you should really say you're screwed.
Yeah. So, I mean, for the background, we could ask for something, literally call it steampunk calculators, 16-bit scene, and see what we get.
What was the thing for the what was the keyword?
It's in one word, 16-bit scene.
16-bit?
16-bit scene.
Okay.
Not scene, but scene, as in a scene that you're looking at.
No. Yeah. Let's see. And steampunk, Zeppelin.
That could actually feature like security drones and zeppelins and stuff.
You want like city?
Yeah, city.
Yeah,
that's probably good.
So let's see in steampunk city. But I've kind of reprogrammed this while we were talking.
Right.
Okay, so images. I put it as out arg any. And I kind of want to see, what did this return? Was that?
I think it can return an image.
It's a pill.
Yeah.
So I can resize pills, right? You should.
Yeah, I think pixelating them and before resizing makes sense.
Okay, so I can. What do we want to do? We want to resize and then flip so that we have two. I don't need to, but okay, we do have resize. So let's just, I'll make a little resize component. So we save the image. We do need the image file, so I'll also make file names. Make it any for now. Self.file names is equal to out on empty. And then I'll get ret images, ret names, and at the end of this, ret self.images value is equal to ret images and self.file names values and ret file names. Okay. And then when we create we got the images, so ret images, that's good enough. And then when we create,
instead of saving it, or are we going to save it too?
Yeah, I think we want to save it to.
I mean, for now it's fine.
Yeah, for now, because the display image needs the file name. That's why. Append out fn. Okay, so I think that will work. Then in the circuits, we reload our components. Reload the node. Okay, so then we'll display the images, right? And then that should be more or less what we have right now. So if I save and run this, think I have to change. Yeah.
I guess if you update your iProgress or Jupyter and IPy widgets, you're going to get a nice progress bar.
Possibly. But I remember when I was messing with this, I tried to use a newer version of things and like everything broke. So
yeah,
I don't want to mess with it too much.
I'm wondering, like in principle, we don't need a count of 1 or a count on the generate image thing. That could be a loop. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, let's ask for zeppelins and security drones in the sky.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Zeppelin and security drones. And for backgrounds, this thing's nuts.
So what size do we need for the background image, actually? I mean, this is 512 times 512. I think it's
EGWMP. It's 800 by 600.
I guess it won't hurt to constrain it a bit. Or we could literally use something for outpainting.
Yeah, I mean these are tileable though, so.
I mean, the first one certainly is.
Yeah, we could like tile it in both directions actually. Oh man, how would I do that? Let's see.
Somehow just OpenAI is broken.
What happened?
OpenAI kind of appears to be broken. The login thing just...
I broke it. It must have been me because I had refreshed it and I logged in with the wrong credential. I logged in again. I mean, yeah, it must have been me.
I mean, ChatGPT works, but everything else kind of...
Yeah, it seems
broken.
broken.
A blank page.
Maybe they don't care about it anymore. Like, screw that. We just make so much money with ChatGPT. Okay, so the BNG is just blitted to the background.
I mean, what if you just drop it into it? Like, what will it look like?
Okay, the first one?
Yeah, why not? That kind of has the aesthetic with tubing and so on.
Yeah.
Actually, we could also ask for a tube sprite.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, one thing at a time. Okay, so let's take BNG.pg. Right, put that in there. Okay, and then background becomes PNG. How does that look? Okay, it's definitely not big enough because our window is bigger. But I'm pretty sure in Pygame, tile background. Repeating tile background, BNP, screen points. Yeah, I guess you just need to keep doing it. Essentially. So we load our image.
Would you mind sharing the image with me?
Okay. access? Like, has it not had access to my download file folder until now? Like, what is wrong with it? Chrome not have access to my downloads? It has
just
been
lie.
removed. I don't know why, but it has been removed apparently.
You probably moved it instead of.
Ah, yes, that's why. Okay, so I think go here and for I in range, it's supposed to be 800 by 512 for J in range 600 by 512 steps. I'm going to split the background and give it the X and Y, which should be I and J. That did not work. Because it's kind of too big. Kind of too big. And it could move like in a parallax way, but that might be a little bit a little too much right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of putting it through an image out painter, which really isn't all that good, but I can turn it into 124, like 1K times 1K that way. And it has like, the aesthetic is kind of there. Let me download it and it kind of matches kind of with the theme of the game, I think.
Yes, that it does.
So yeah, I've sent you the 1K times 1K sized image.
Okay, we'll grab that. Oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy cool. Okay.
Yeah, so for anyone who is new and watching this, we're kind of messing around with AI tools for image for game asset creation. And well, given that OpenAI kind of broke just as we started streaming, we are using things that are available open source. And yeah, we've just created a new background image, and as Eduardo is about to start the game, you will see what it looks like in a bit, I think.
Yeah. Why is my cursor gone?
I see it. It's right next to load image.
I can't type. Hold on. I'm gonna have to quit some stuff.
So while Eduardo is quitting stuff, I'll show what I've just used to generate the image and the image itself. So that's in the center is the image that we've generated with Stable Diffusion. And as I was a little bit lazy, I just looked up anything that does outpainting with it, dropped in pixel art, steampunk, and city, and you kind of got this kind of broken-ish thing around it. And I think it fits with the theme of the game surprisingly well.
Yeah.
Because you can build like tubes and stuff to protect yourself. Okay. So
we need to scroll the background.
It's also kind of zoomed in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like weirdly zoomed in. How big was it?
It's 1K times
1K. It's 2K by 2K.
Oh. Weird. It should be 1K times 1K. I mean, I can
resize
that and resize it for you.
I can resize it here pretty easy. So adjust size 1024. 1024. Okay. Now, rerun that. A little bit better. Everything's kind of using the same color palette. We need to gray that background out a little bit, I think.
Sure. Give me a second, I'll do that.
Isn't there a good way for should be a good way for that to do that. Well, I guess, yeah, Blit isn't going to do anything.
I've sent you a desaturated one, and it's 1K this time around.
Okay. Let's save that there. And bring it into AI game. Overwrite. Hopefully not break everything this time. It's a little bit better.
I mean, it adds a little bit of challenge, making it not exactly obvious, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice to have kind of like a bit of parallax there.
Yeah. How would you add parallax? This is the main loop? Is this the main loop? Yes, this is main. It's not the main loop. Or no, it is the main loop, I think. So if we change this to be we need the guy, and the guy has an X and Y.
I mean, I guess all we need to do is move the background relative to the camera.
That'd make it static. We'd have to change it like differently relative to the camera. Where do we use camera X and camera Y?
It looks like it's
we'll use that.
So background scrolling is achieved by moving the background image. The image is drawn into the window with an offset and must be drawn twice.
Camera DX and camera DY. Okay, that was doing something.
Yeah, now move it more than like apply some kind of multiplier.
So the camera DX that we have is like there's a slight camera wobble when you move the character, essentially, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
So I think what we really want is to multiply this by the guy's center x. Guy.rect.center x, and then here's the guy.rect y. This is going to be a little bit exaggerated. Wow, that's really funky. What in the world is going on there? Probably way too much. What if instead of that I just do that? What's happening there? No, that's not gonna work. It's moving the background over here, and then what we're seeing is the unblitted. Like there's nothing to blit at that point. What we want.
I would have just used camera DX and camera DY and multiplied like by 2 or something, or 20.
By 2.
Okay, so it only does kind of the wobble.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, as
you can just
the guy,
leave it.
Yeah, like I think. So the screen is like 800, right? The background is 1,000. So as the guy goes to the right, we want to see the rightmost of the background. So I think what we can do is take the guy rect.center x divided by 1024, and then just use camera dy for that. That does nothing. Okay, never mind. The guy's center x must be way too small.
I mean, what is it even like? What's the value there? Yeah, printing it out makes sense.
400, 300, 400. Ah, okay. We recentered the screen. That's why. So his location in the guy's rect is on the screen location, not the world location.
Okay. Makes sense. And if you do everything in screen values,
just move set center green. Where do we change that?
I mean, we don't need to make it so. Because we kind of we're messing around with things that really don't matter.
This is not. This is unfortunately not the AI part. But anyway, yeah. It needs a lot more desaturation, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Oh shit! Oh, God. This game is so difficult, so great.
Okay, reduce the saturation even more.
Yeah, I think I can stop printing out the guy's location. Steam count print.
There you go, with an even more. I mean, I can cut it down to size 2. like 800 times 600 is
Yeah,
easily possible.
that would probably work best. And then, what was the thing again? Sprite? 16-bit Sprite?
16-bit scene something, or are you looking for Sprite?
The Sprite, because the last remaining thing is...
That
Oh,
was
we
PC
have-
Sprite.
Yeah, so we have the pipe, and then the thing. What is the thing? I don't think we ever finished the thing. But we want some sort of steampunk key, I think.
Yeah.
That should be good enough.
And the goal should be then a steampunk door.
Yes. A door?
Gateway. Portal.
If it's a portal, you don't need a key for a portal. Whereas-
Portal gun.
Oh man, it would be so cool if I did make a portal gun or something like that. Back 20 years ago. That is a very interesting looking key. This seems to be a lot
It
more
kind of
usable.
looks more like a hammer.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like it doesn't really look like a key. These all
I've
not
shared
so
with
much.
you like the cutout version of the background.
Thank you. Okay, let's put that in there just to see how it looks. And something has to be said for how amazing.
You need to rename or to change the thing.
But I mean, like, how amazing it is that Pygame
Still works. Yeah.
That was completely unexpected. We do not deserve the team that is working on that. Okay, that's kind of cool. Die, you drone things. I don't know what they are, but yes, that was unfair.
It's like with those tools, it wouldn't be too hard, like even for a kid to get started.
Yeah, that's so true. We'll make a resize image real quick. Resize image component, and it's going to take image. We need a for each. We have a loop component, but we don't have a for each component. That's a little annoying.
Yeah, maybe we should make one.
I can't make one in
the
this
stream has been going
version.
on for over 3 hours now, and
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
1 a.m. in the morning for you.
It's a good time to get to work.
I think that we might want to cut it short this time around.
Possibly.
I mean,
the main thing that we wanted to do was kind of work with the text things, but OpenAI is dead right now,
right.
and that's not doable.
And it looks like chat isn't crying about us leaving early.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there is one person here, I think. That key looks pretty good. I want to make sure I save that. Doesn't look so big. It doesn't look too good big, but when you make it much smaller, it'll look great, I think.
Yeah. Send it over, I'll turn it small.
That's the thing, I'm trying to make you useless by using
You know,
program.
I'm trying to be faster than you.
Dope. That's probably going to work very well because I'm not exactly the fastest programmer. So we get images in. Yeah, and then we're going to have to get names in as well. This is that's kind of stupid. Self.names is in our, and then we'll need out names. And then out images. Okay, self out images out arg empty. Self dot out names is equal to out arg dot empty. And then we execute and for image in self dot images value. Enumerate. Is that a thing? I have a feeling that was the thing. Image dot resize. Then we need a size, of course. New width in arg int and new height. Yes, that's equal in arg empty new height arg empty. Then we resize to the new width value self.new height value. Okay, then the new fn will be the self.names.value ith thing plus through self.new with value self.new height value.
I think that thing shouldn't be a 64 times 64.
Just to, well, if we just resize it as is, there's kind of like a lot of white space there.
Yeah, I know. I've cut out a lot of white space too. I think it's going. It's like not necessarily better looking. Yeah, I'll drop you the sprite and you can see yourself.
Okay. Image resize. Does that return a new image? I hope so. Could be wrong. And ret names. The new thing. Now that key does not look so great.
And there is a bit lost.
Yeah. A lot of the detail that made it kind of cool is kind of lost. And then thing.bmp. There's thing.bmp. Let's run that. I mean, it doesn't look too bad.
Come again?
It doesn't look too bad in the game.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh god, I suck at this game so much.
Just use your
That's okay.
I guess that's okay.
And I carry it on my head.
I'll try to redo a new one.
Oh god. I need to handle the state better. I need to reset all the mouse state every time we start the game. Yeah, definitely for sure. But I mean, it kind of looks kind of cool. I guess it's maybe a little bit big. Okay, and then finally, self.out images value ret images, and then self.out names.value ret names. So with that, should be able to resize our images and then display them. So make sure to reload that. So get our images and the names. Then we're going to make them integers, 64 by 64. And then we're going to display image. Okay. Let's see how that works.
I dropped you an alternative for the thing.
Okay. So that's generating. Well, the AI is doing all the work. We'll do the other work. So let's put that in there. Remove. Overwrite. Okay. Get away. Get away. That's kind of cool.
It has kind of like an eye-looking thing in there.
Yeah. And this game
I expect the Ludum Dare stuff to be like out of this world soon.
It's going to be crazy if people can. Yeah, that's going to get crazy pretty soon. That's your screwed message because of our shitty colliding algorithm is getting on my nerves.
It's funny how it kind of always happening. Like it's printing that as you're falling and stuff like that.
Yeah, essentially, if I get it right, it's a collision detection issue, right? So when you're inside of a thing, it's going to say you're screwed. And that's what's happening, because instead of using Pygame's collision detection, we kind of made our own, and it's not the best. But anyway, did I Enumerate does not exist. Yes.
Elmer Garrett. Enumerate.
I concur. It definitely does not exist. The fact that it didn't highlight should have been a hint.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have a nice content creation pipeline here.
Yeah.
I think the next, so we have the key. So I have a steampunk door. Like, what else could it be? I don't know.
Yeah, like a gate, a portal, and
Yeah,
Oculus.
What did I do this time? Int has no attribute resize. That is definitely not what I wanted.
Yeah, that's the I go first. That's something that I always also can't remember. Like what goes first.
And it's all Scala's fault. Completely Scala's fault. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll cut it at 1:30 or something like that. There's a lot of people at work telling me to review stuff. Can't keep them waiting.
Yeah.
Oops, the new height isn't connected. That's not going to work. And int is not iterable. What did I do now?
Oh, size. Wait, it's complaining about. What?
Size.
Oh, do you have to put it well to pass in as a tuple instead of two parameters?
I should totally look at the API instead of just guessing how it works. Yes, size is tuple with height. Resize value, height value. Okay, and resample. I think in here we want linear, is bilinear. Box.
Oh, actually, we want the nearest.
Oh, the nearest.
Or maybe, I don't know what box does, but sometimes you actually want like nothing even. So nearest is probably the closest to nothing.
Yes. So it's an enumeration of 0. Resize. So resize took the size near.
Yeah.
So that resample we can just force to 0. Okay. Save that. We'll reload our circuits. Let's see if I can do this without meeting you in your GIMP skills.
I guess with the output is going to be rather small.
Yes. But like in the end, that's the main size it's going to be. So.
Right. But you're kind of losing the ability to like cut out the white space.
Hmm. I always do that. Why do I always forget the done?
Yeah, the done thing is kind of, given that it's so pointless.
Yeah. Let's do it one more time. Third time is a charm.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of wonder how much memory is being used right now. Nothing uses 38 gigabytes. Yeah, 38 gigabytes. That is quite the bottle. That is non-trivial.
Yeah, I mean, good that we have it.
Yeah.
That's running that.
Oh my god.
And
Expected
expected
byte
string,
per
but
path, not
like
image.
not image. Makes
What?
sense. In
Display.
because you're returning the resized image, and you're, I guess, funneling that into the display image thing.
Ah, you know, I never save it. Hold on.
Wait a second. You're in the wrong place.
Yeah,
Let's
because
go
it's
to the image resizing.
this is the display
so-
image, right? And it's trying to display this file name thing.
And
That's
if
it.
you go there,
This
the
resized
thing
image is
that
out.
comes out of display image is, you know, yeah, I mean, the thing that comes out of resized image is,
Yeah, I didn't have equals in out names, and then because of that, out names was just not there, and then it kind of assumed.
yeah.
Okay, so that's better, but still, this would have failed anyway because I don't save the image; I just resize it. So new image is equal to that, right? Then we get the new file name, the new image dot save, new file name, then ret images dot append new image and appending file name.
Yeah, we really need a for each thing.
Yeah, that would
or
be
a map
very,
thing or something.
yeah,
like
like
that.
a map values. Be kind of weird if you could like embed a component inside of another component or something like that. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, it would be like weirdly interesting. Given that we have this, now all we need is to get 200 million in funding, and then we're good to go. What else do we need? Oh yeah, these are perfectly sized images.
I guess the one on the gray background.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I don't really get what
I think that
steampunk.
fits with the style that we're using.
Yeah,
I mean, you could also add Art Deco as like to make it kind of a bit more steampunky.
add what?
Art Deco. So art like art, and deco like decoration.
Hmm.
It's a single word, I think.
Let's give that a shot. But just before, don't save this just in case. Okay, now we'll give it a shot.
Okay, in English it's 2 words.
It's always hard to know when working with German.
It's actually a kind of a 2 words thing in German too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think it kind of has all the things that you would associate with steampunk too.
Hmm. I don't think it changed much.
Yeah, maybe.
And,
But we want to use, where is it? It's I guess we want to use Pixel Sprite. We are currently using 16-bit sprite as a
Pixel Sprite. Okay. Let's do that instead.
I mean, it still kind of stayed with the theme, I guess.
Yeah. Which you said 10%. My dock needs more watts. Which one of these looks good? It's a really good question.
Yeah, I guess
this one's kind of okay. That one's kind of cooler looking as a door. I wouldn't really call it steampunk. They're like like weirdly, I don't know, Egyptian kind of thing. You know, like I'm getting that what's it called? There's that one game, the one very famous one, where you're running, very old, and there's doors and trapdoors and.
Are you thinking about Prince of Persia?
That one, Prince of Persia. Like these are like oddly Prince of Persia-y.
Yeah. Try looking for, instead of gate, look for portal.
Okay.
Because a portal doesn't mean just like the thing that you jump through to come out the other side.
Should we add pipes or something?
Brass, maybe?
Brass. Very similar. I don't know, that this one's kind of cool.
Yeah. Maybe add closed to it, because all of those are open portals.
Yeah. Closed portal. There we go. I need to make sure I'm zooming the right thing.
Right.
Yeah, doing this inside of the circuits is actually like genuinely pretty cool. I mean, it would have been more or less the same in a notebook, but definitely before I was always running it as just, you know, like a script and waiting for the loading. Always took forever. I don't think it knows what a closed portal looks like.
It's not yellow. It's not blue in everyone now.
Yeah.
Let's kind of look into the details. Yeah, it's totally closed.
Yeah. That is definitely very steampunky door. I like this one too. This is definitely more like door E, I think.
I mean, a portal is kind of a door-ish thing.
Yeah. Which one would we go with?
I'd probably go with the one with the blue background.
Yeah, this one?
Yeah. But you still have to share that with me to remove the background.
Yes.
But now I don't have to do the pixelation.
Yeah. It's pre-pixelating. I wonder if if Pill has like a fill, like the same as a paint bucket. So I could just say take top left corner and then fill it with
the
paint.
problem is that it doesn't quite work that way because it's not a uniform color.
See, so we'd have to have like a lot more AI. Like, yeah.
We need a remove background AI, essentially.
Yeah. Which should be doable. I feel like that.
I mean, there are
totally
such things.
We have like in painting, so there should possibly totally be a select foreground thing and make background transparent. Okay, so the portal, the goal, BMP was that. Not my best artwork, I would say. But if we just add this and see what it looks like.
Okay, I've already sent you the one with a pink background.
Oh, that's fast enough. Okay, so let's grab you. Game. And then we'll look for goal.bmp. Why did I use BMP?
Probably because that was faster on the machine back then.
Possibly. It's like I feel like I'm old, but I'm not like BMP old. You know? Goal.png. Where did I put it? Where's the goal? Goal 1.png. Let's refactor that. And let's go. This will be the last one. So definitely a mouse game. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. And the thing, get to the goal.
I mean, it now looks surprising. Like, if we make the tubes be aware of their orientation.
Oh, yeah. That would be kind of better. For sure.
And, replace it with proper pixel artish tubes. That honestly already would look like a 90s era indie game.
Yeah. Did we implement some kind of like no fire zone? I remember there being a no fire zone, but I can't shoot here.
Huh.
I don't think I made a no fire zone. I can't shoot. That makes things much more difficult.
Oh, you need to reload, I think, sometimes.
I can shoot. Wait. Shooting. Can't shoot.
What if you right click?
Right click works. I can make the thing.
What does middle click?
No quick, I can't do.
Okay.
Yeah, so good. But anyway, this is a fun stream. We were able to break OpenAI, I think, and then after we broke OpenAI, we made our own thing using Stable Diffusion to make a pipeline to generate images and replace a 20-year-old game that was made in 24 hours. And yeah,
It looks decent now.
Yeah, it looks like half decent. You know, if I had the artistic skills, you know, it would look maybe a little bit better. But yeah, it's like it's so much better. We have an actual character, right? And yeah, mechanics could use some fine tuning, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, whatever. It's 20 years old, so
Yeah.
really cool. We couldn't get to making these things smarter, but they're already annoying as is. So I can't imagine how much more annoying they would be if they learned how to attack you. That would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, if they would try to shoot you, then this would be a bullet hell game.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that would be so annoying too. But anyway, I think that'll be the end for this stream. So thanks for everyone who's tuned in to watch, and I think we'll be back next week with something else. I'm not sure yet, but it'll probably be more or less more of the same kind of thing. Maybe not games next time, but like making something more functional. You can do RPA stuff with circuits as well. So I'm kind of thinking of making something that automates some tedious work that I do as well. So maybe we'll do something like that over the next one, or add some feature to circuits that we don't have yet, like maybe a for each loop. That'd be a good one. Okay, so I think with that, we'll say goodbye, and I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, goodbye everyone. See you then.